Hi everybody, it's Nicole and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here for the Vicki Boutin design team and I'm going to be using her new gel crayons to make this pie chart inspired layout using the new color study collection. So I'm just making some really rough circles here on my foundations paper. I'm erasing that pencil line just so I can see it just very slightly. It is still there, and I'm just rubbing the gel crayon here onto an acrylic sheet and adding some water, much like you would with the art crayons, just to create a bit of a watercolor paint. I'm going to use the kissing technique kind of in the pie chart shape just to add each of those colors into my little pie charts, and I'm just going to repeat the same process in all three pieces of my pie charts. You can see the color is really light. It's not super saturated, but it gives a really great watercolor effect. I really like how easy it is to move the color around. And actually, I did find with the gel crayons, really easy to mix the color in the water. I know sometimes with the art crayons, you kind of get that little chalky pieces that break off. I didn't find that yet with the gel crayons, and this is my first time using them. But I do like how easily they mix together to make that watercolor like paint almost. So I'm going to dry in between each color just so I have no mixture between the colors happening. So I'm going to start with yellow because it's the lightest and then work my way to more of the deeper colors. So I'm going to add a little bit of orange now. And I'm not mixing a lot because I really want to be able to just concentrate on that one area that I'm doing. I don't want to have a lot of extra drip, so I want to just kind of mix the paint for each of my pie charts. So I have kind of like just enough for what I need for my space because I don't want to have a lot extra. It would be really hard to do the kissing technique this way, so I am going to just drip that in, and you can see I'm actually just more dragging it with my acetate sheet more than anything. And I am going to clean up some of my pie shapes just with my paintbrush, just by dabbing them into the paint itself, made with a gel crayon and my water mixture, just to tap it in kind of a bit of a triangular kind of shape. I do have a cut file I'm going to use for this project later, but I'm not really super worried about the size of each of the pie pieces. I just want to have kind of that rainbow effect in each of the circles to make that pie shape. And I did find like dragging it, as you can see with that one triangle there, was quite easy to make that pie shape. And you can see you don't need a lot of this art or gel crayon, sorry, not art crayon, to move the color around. You can actually quite a small amount goes a really long way. Again, it is more of a watercolory effect. I find that's not super pigmented, but that is kind of what I wanted in behind my die cut shape, so it's going to serve for my purpose quite well, I think. I did try to add some of the gel crayon direct onto the paper, and I think I pressed a little too hard with it. It didn't quite smooth out the way I wanted, but I'm not super worried because I am going to cover that up later on with some pattern paper. So really the idea of this is the gel crayon is just going to have that watercolory peek through behind each of the pie chart shapes that I have, and it's going to kind of guide me along where I want to place the colors. So I'm going to skip ahead and make this super fast speed just to get all those colors down on the page. Again, just using the colors of the rainbow here and just mixing to get all of the different colors in the pie pieces into the circles. So I'm just going to keep on moving. I really love, honestly, the colors I didn't do any mixing between them. I'm using them straight from the crayon itself. So obviously another time I will try to mix colors together to see how well they blend. But I do like even just the plain, very basic, simple colors right straight from the crayon. So now I have my pie charts all made. I did go ahead and use the black gel crayon to kind of make an ink and splatter that on my pie chart area just to make the background not so white. And I did go ahead and take different 6x8 paper pad pieces from the color study collection and the cut file that you can get free today in the Vicki Boutin community group. For National Scrapbook Day, I did use that to kind of cut out one triangle pie shape out of each of the pattern papers I want to use. And I'm just using that one piece, to be honest, as a bit of a template because I do want to have kind of 2 or 3 of that same color throughout my page. But because my pie shapes wouldn't all be like verbatim the same size that the actual cut file is, I'm just kind of using that as a starting point to adjust my size. You can see that I have some skinnier ones, and I'm just really trimming down that in half sometimes, like this one here, the actual pie piece from the cut file, and sometimes even it's a third, and I'm just honestly eyeballing that with my scissors just to make them fit kind of into that painted design that I had done with the gel crayon. And again, just matching color for color. So if I have yellow, I'm adding a yellow pie piece in that area, red, pink, etc., going in my circular rainbow pie chart. I like doing this. You could definitely try to size each pie piece and cut them out on your digital cutter if you wanted. But to be honest, especially with pie charts, I find I like to cut one or two different sizes of pie chart pieces and then use them like a template like I'm doing here and just hold it up and then trace it around. I feel like it's just as fast, and I can less fiddling around with my cutter sometimes, I think works for me. So I'm going to just finish this up really quickly. I love that the B sides of the patterns are just as pretty as the A sides. On this page I'm using all B side patterns, and I love each and every one of them, even the purple, which I normally don't tend to draw to. Like that purple right there is just super pretty. It's like a pinky purple, so I really love that. And that navy blue kind of cobalt blue color is really just kind of amazing. So anyway, I'm just using up some scraps here to finish off my larger pie chart. I'm trying to just use up little bits, and because I've kind of gone through my circle of colors, I'm just really picking kind of more neutral. I'm going to pick more neutral patterns for the inside of that larger pie chart. And I'm not sticking everything down super well. As you can see, I am just sticking down where I have to because I am going to go off camera for a minute or two, and I'm going to add stitching all around the outside of those pie chart pieces, as well as through the middle of some of those separations on the pie chart. So I'm going to go off camera really quick, and I'm back already. Just trimming off that. It's hard to see here from the camera angle, but I will show you a close-up. So I didn't go through every single pie piece and sew through all of it, but definitely around the outer edge, as you can see on the back here, and just through some of them, just to kind of add a little bit of texture, and it helps keep those pieces down too. So I'm going to add a few photos here in between two of those pie charts. That's really just to make a nice cohesion across my page. So it kind of like takes that separation away. And then this is the first time I've actually been ripping into my color study collection. So I'm just pulling out some of the different ephemera packs. I'm going to use this one here and trying to find some things that I think will go well with my layout. There's tons of great stuff. It's kind of hard to choose. I really love this Polaroid camera. So I'm going to start with that because I think that image is always good for selfies. And I kind of like the fact that it's green and not like your typical pink or purple that you might see. I thought about using those stamps, and they're super awesome, but I didn't in this time. But I did pull open the other ephemera pack as well. There's some super great titles here, and I thought this one, the script one here, was just perfect to fit across my two photos, so I'm going to use that. I am going to stick everything down with foam adhesive for the most part, just to pop everything up to kind of the height of my photos. And just now kind of playing around with the embellishments to see what fits where. I like this shiny butterfly. It has like that iridescent foil image with the color in it, and I like the green to kind of match that green of the Polaroid camera on the other side of the photo, so I'm going to do that. And then I thought I kind of like, if you've watched a few of my videos, I like a good photo tab if I see one, so I'm going to use this one here to fill in that gap on the left side photo. I did add a couple staples to it. I feel like it just adds a little bit of extra love. I did want to do something along the top of the page, but then I saw these really fun pie charts that are in the collection, and so I'm going to add this one here, and there's a few others in there that I thought about adding, and then I realized I have vellum paper that would do the same thing, so I'm going to come back around to that, don't worry. But just really trying to decide what I want to pull from. And then I found these flower embellishments, and this is the only pack I have, and I used half of them on this layout, but they're so amazing and adorable. I just kind of pulled up the inside white layer of flower just to give it some dimension, and then I'm going to place those down kind of in the same color groupings in those pie charts. It just kind of seemed to work instead of using the little pie charts from the vellum that I wanted to use. I'm going to add some black ink that I had just from my stash, just because the black gel crayon was more of a gray. I didn't let it sit quite long enough. I really should have let it sit longer to soak more into the paper, and it would have been a little bit more black. And now I'm just going to fool around with a few more stickers just to kind of fill in that bottom area there where my title is and the photo. I'm not going to go too crazy. I like the fact that these sticker books that Vicki has in her collections have little tiny bits, like almost like enamel dots, but stickers. So I'm going to use a few of the gold there to put those down. that will kind of go nicely with that foiled butterfly. So it kind of ties all of that together. There's a couple of sub-sentiments. It's almost too hard to choose what embellishments to use because there's just like too many good ones. I had to add this little fake paper clip to the top of the page. Thought about using these puffy stickers, but the stars and hearts didn't go. Anyway, here is the close-up of those pie charts. I really just love that effect of the gel crayon in behind those pie chart pieces. Really quite easy to do, and I think just like a subtle mixed media effect. So grab the free cut file over on the Vicki Boutin community page for National Scrapbook Day, and I will see you again next week with another video. Bye-bye.